All right. What's going on, everybody? C4 here today with an impromptu live stream. I was going to live stream last night. My kid had some, it was a rash. It wasn't anything super serious, but we decided to take him to the hospital, so we're stuck in there for 6 hours. Wasn't able to get out. And obviously, it's a no-brainer in deciding if I stream or the baby. So I figured tonight, do an impromptu live stream. It's the 2016 draft connected franchise mode, and hopefully, if things go as planned, which is very tough for me to plan things, tomorrow I'll finish up this entire little live stream series with doing my 2017 draft. I have most of the rookies created. At least I have all the big rookies created, enough that I can fill out a full team. So hopefully I'll be able to finish this tomorrow. And if not, I'll probably do a live stream, I think, maybe of my Eagles Connected franchise mode as I'm getting back into that series. So, without further ado, let's take a look here at the 2016 rookies. This is pretty much an all-rookie roster, but it's the 2016 draft. And we'll take a look at the depth chart. So, at quarterback, we're going with Carson Wentz over Dak Prescott. It's still the hot up for debate. Obviously, Dak has the better Madden overall, as crazy as that sounds for some reason. But we got Carson Wentz here. Who we'll be rolling with? I think Carson Wentz, I don't want to start. I guess, to pop off in the chat, you guys can shoot who's better, Dak Prescott or Carson Wentz. That's a heated debate because I know there are a couple loyal Cowboy fans who suffer through my Eagles content to watch everything else, and I thank you guys for it. But, of course, I'm going to have to roll with Carson Wentz as my starting quarterback. So, we have Zeke sitting on a 90 and Jordan Howard sitting on a 90. With our scheme, I think with my rosters, these are my rosters. This is a sneak peek at my own personal Madden 18 in quotation roster. Zeke Elliott's a 91. I had Jordan Howard as an 89, and obviously when we go into the Philadelphia Eagles scheme, they both come out to a 90. I had to be a realist, even though I did mock Jordan Howard to the Philadelphia Eagles multiple times last year in mock drafts. Zeke Elliott is the more talented runner, but we'll have both these guys featured in this offense. But we'll live with Zeke here as the number one running back. We'll have Jordan Howard, consolation. He could be our starting fullback. Wide receivers are going with Michael Thomas at 87 overall. He balled out last season with the New Orleans Saints. I can be 100% honest where I thought it was, I thought he was going to be a project type player. I didn't think he was going to be anywhere as good as he was, and he proved me wrong. He was a beast, and luckily I was able to nab him up on a couple of my fantasy football teams and reap the rewards. We have Will Fuller as the second outside wide receiver, 78 overall. Had started off very good with the Texans and then kind of mellowed out down the stretch. But then again, you probably could throw it up to the poor quarterback play. We got Tyreek Hill working out of the slot, the fifth round wonder. Obviously slipped because off the field issues. But, be it running the ball, be it catching the ball, be it getting involved on special teams, he was as dynamic of a playmaker as anyone in the NFL last year, let alone rookies. And then we'll round out with Corey Coleman and Sterling Shepard, who both had stellar rookie campaigns. Corey Coleman looked good when he was on the field, struggled with some injury, and Sterling Shepard pretty much sent Victor Cruz packing from the New York Giants. At the tight end spot, we're going with Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper of the Atlanta Falcons. I think it was something crazy, like he was the first rookie tight end to catch a touchdown in the playoffs. He got some award Tuesday, but he looks promising. And then Hunter Henry, he pretty much made Antonio Gates expendable a little bit last season. It found like Hunter Henry, if you gave him the full workload, obviously Gates is a legend, you got to treat him as such. And when he's back there and able to play, you got to get him some minutes. But it looks like they're not going to be any worse for wear when Antonio Gates finally decides to hang it up at the end of his illustrious career. They got Hunter Henry. Looks like he's going to be a future Pro Bowl tight end. Offensive line is solid. We got Ronnie Stanley here, started at left tackle for the Baltimore Ravens. Very good prospect. I liked him coming out of college. And he looks like he is the left side locked down for the Ravens for the foreseeable future. At left guard, we're going Laramie Tunsil, who is best suited, I think, as a right tackle, but, because of the strengths of the Miami Dolphins offensive line, they played him at a little bit of guard, and he looked fairly good. Obviously, with the whole bong mass incident, he slipped on draft day. Gonna be interested to see if we get any of those characters this year, but Tunsil still had a nice rookie campaign. It looks promising. At center, we're going with Ryan Kelly, the center from where'd he go? He went to the Colts, Indianapolis Colts, started all 16 games. Again, another vital piece that we'll be using there. We got Cody White here, who was a center, 87 overall center, but if we move into right guard, which he is, pretty much can play anywhere on the interior, he's an 86. I'm pretty sure the Bears got him in the 5th round. The Bears really did kill this draft, and I was thinking about using the Bears as a base roster, but I just figured, fuck it, we'll just use the Philadelphia Eagles for today. And I'll probably use the Eagles in the 2017 draft. I'm an Eagle fan. Fuck off. But Cody White had a very good rookie campaign. And then at right tackle, we get Jack Conklin, who pretty much already played. I'm pretty sure he got All-Pro for right tackle. So an excellent, excellent pick. He's, again, another guy, obviously, before the Carson Wentz trade. If the Eagles stayed at 13, I think they were at, Jack Conklin would have been one of the picks I would have liked to see. But yeah, real good, and that, man, the Titans are going to be a serious team. You ain't going to want to fuck with the Titans next season. I think they're going to be very good in that AFC South. The defense side of the ball, right defensive end, or left defensive end, we're going with Emmanuel Ogbah, who I think he started as an outside linebacker, and then near the end of the season, they put him at defensive end, and he was like near the top of the league in terms of quarterback pressures. We already seen Ogbah be a phenom in our realistic rebuilds with the Cleveland Browns, where he seemingly got like 15 sacks a season, so hopefully he can, add to that. And here's the most overpowered player on the defensive side of the ball in this year's Madden, and it's not even close, and his name's Joey Bosa, the defensive end from the San Diego Chargers. Literally, when you play against him, anytime I'm, playing the moments, when I play my games in these condensed little connected franchise modes, he's unblockable. He literally destroys whatever tackle. When I'm the Eagles, he will destroy Lane Johnson every single game. It does not make any sense, be it Lane Johnson or Jason Peters. So I will put my hat on saying Joey Bosa, out of any player, is the most overpowered player on the defensive side of the ball in Madden today. Defensive tackle, we have Chris Jones, 85 overall, who had a fairly good campaign with the Kansas City Chiefs. But because we're running a 3-4, he is very much a defensive tackle. They're also rolling with DeForest Buckner, who has now played defensive tackle. I think they may have to look to do this move here, as he was drafted as a 3-4 defensive end in San Francisco, but now they're switching back to a 4-3, so I think he's going to have to probably add on 10 pounds and make that transition to a defensive tackle spot. At left outside linebacker, we're going Darren Lee, who is a currently inside linebacker, but I think he can play inside and outside for how quick he is. Of the Jets, didn't have the best season. Obviously, it was a little bit of a learning curve, but he's one of those guys that needs to probably bulk up a little bit, and looking for a better campaign from him next year. Middle linebacker will be Reggie Ragland, who I believe he tore his ACL. I don't know if it was in training camp. I don't know if he even hit the field, but he tore it really, really early for the Buffalo Bills. But he's was debatably the best inside linebacker last year, and they're looking for big things from him if you're a Bills fan. And a right outside linebacker, we're going with Leonard Floyd of the Chicago Bears. Again, 3 Bears made this list. Now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should just use Bears for the roster. But, or the Bears for the base team. But Leonard Floyd, again, very lengthy guy that I think is going to develop into a nice pass rusher there. Corner, we're going with Jalen Ramsey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And when I did my mock draft for the Jags, I said he was my MVP last season. And they look like they obviously came out looking like a franchise defensive back, played like a defensive franchise player. We get Anthony Brown here, who was a mid-late round pick from the Dallas Cowboys, which I think we look back on as one of the best draft classes the Cowboys have ever had. He was able to get very productive minutes. We also have James Bradbury of the Carolina Panthers, who got a 79 overall, fairly productive, and they needed it after they lost Josh Norman in free agency. Really had to do a complete overhaul of their secondary. And then we got Vernon Hargreaves and Jalen Mills as the other rookies rounding up our cornerbacks. At free safety, we go with Carl Joseph from West Virginia, who is on the Oakland Raiders. Very promising strong safety, but I think he can play strong and free. He has great ball skills. This guy had an unbelievable amount of production in his final year at West Virginia before he got injured. And then we're going with the monster Keanu O'Neal here at strong safety, Florida Gator. This guy, I knew this guy was going to be a monster. Him and Brian Poole, and both those guys played a significant minutes and significant roles in the Atlanta Falcons' defensive success last season. So our safety is going to be good. Overall, this team should be able to compete, and hopefully we can find ourselves in a playoff spot. So, what's going on, everybody? How is everyone doing? We got what? $10 from Jess. Respect your videos. Hope this is how you do computer setup. Go Niners. Thank you very much, man. You the man, baby. Thank you. Niners, hopefully you guys can... so I'll just talk about the Niners real quick. And what we're going to do for this sim is we'll sim to the mid-season point, and then we'll just continue playing the rest of the rival games. For the 49ers, wait till you see I was talking to one of my buddies is a diehard Niners fan, so I was talking to him today, actually, about where they're thinking about drafting, and he was telling me, like, maybe Jonathan Allen, but you got the injury concerns. He was asking me what I thought about Solomon Thomas. I honestly think that they're going to go, hot take, Marshawn Lattimore. I think Marshawn Lattimore is now a consensus top player in his position, where you have, for defensive line, really it's all over the place after Myles Garrett. Is it Solomon Thomas? Is it Jonathan Allen? Is it Malik McDowell? There's a bunch of guys right now that are in that mix for the defensive line, but right now as it stands, Niners can go really anywhere on the defensive side of the ball, especially when they're transitioning from a 4-3 from a 3-4 to a 4-3. I'm saying the only guy right now that I see on their defense that is outside of Navarro Bowman that's solid and it has a starting spot guaranteed is probably Eric Reed. I mean, you got the young corner Rashard Robinson from LSU, but I think if I'm the Niners, personally, if I'm the Niners, I want to trade back because they have a bunch of holes, but I don't really know if there's a lot of teams that are going to want to trade up. And we're talking about it, and I was like, maybe you could look at Carolina. Maybe the Panthers want to trade up to ensure that they get Leonard Fournette. But if I'm the Niners, I either want to trade down, or if I go at 2, I might want to get Marshawn Lattimore. He's the best corner. If you can get over the durability concerns, which there's some, he might be as good a prospect or as big a playmaker for them as ever. Because the safety thing is kind of tricky, because I think Jamal Adams is the safety that you may want to take, but he's not so much a compliment to what they have in Eric Reed. Malik Hooker's more of a compliment to what they have in Eric Reed, and I don't think you can take him at 2. But, you never know. Niners are in a very interesting spot. So we're 4-3. Let's pick this up and take on the New York Giants. Oh, yeah, Deion Jones. What the fuck? All right, you know what? We're going to trade for him. I forgot about that. That is a brain. Every now and then, C4 can have a brain fart. All right. Oh, shit. I can't trade for him. What is his overall? That I kind of butchered that. Because Deion Jones definitely has like mid-80s, I would assume. 81 overall. So we kind of butchered that. Deion Jones should be on our team. I'll admit that I fucked that up. Maybe we wouldn't be 4-3 if we had Deion Jones. Miles Jack could be on the roster, but his overall is not very high. I think his overall is pretty much the same as Darren Lee. We're just trying to get the best of the best, not necessarily every single guy. But that's a hot take. Who's better, Darren Lee or Miles Jack? I think they both had kind of similar seasons, a little bit underwhelming for both of them. But I'm great. How are you guys? Hopefully we have another good stream here. Impromptu stream. We're not going to restart just for one player. I don't think Deion Jones would have very much impact. Well, then again, what is it, like a 4-point difference, or 5-6 point difference? Maybe. I don't think he'd have too much of an impact on our roster. But I will admit right now, early in the video, people are watching the roster breakdown. I should have included Deion Jones. But yeah, Deion Jones is good, baby. He's a good player. I'm surprised I didn't pick him up when I was getting Keanu Neal. Just a brain fart. Just a fucking brain fart. Who do I think is going to be the biggest bust this year? I've said, people have asked that. It's been a common question. Obviously, it can flip-flop, but I think it will be if a team gets Mitch Trubisky in the top 10. I think he'll have the highest chance of busting just because, oh, come on, flag. You always, with any quarterback in this year's class, I mean, Trubisky probably is the most ready to start, but even that, he's not ready to start. You got to give him Jared Goff treatment. By seeing a team that's going to reach for him, they may throw him in, and, you could have a David Carr situation on your hands where you play a guy that's not ready to start, and then just he'll never be able to recover from it. My son is doing better. My son is doing better. Thanks for asking. Let's take off with Carson. Will Mike Vick go to the Hall of Fame? I think not. I think he needed probably 3 more years of playing at an elite level, a couple more years. He revolutionized the game. And I think there is a case for Michael Vick to make the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's a case for Tony Romo to make the Hall of Fame. There's a case for Michael Vick. Because at least Michael Vick got to an NFC championship once in his career. So he had some success. I just think, from one side, he revolutionized the game. From the other side, you have the controversial, obviously, the dogfighting thing. And then really, he had, what? Three real dominant years. And outside of that, he didn't really, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. Outside of a couple seasons, oh my God. Hey, good catch there by Hooper. I think he needed at least 2 more dominant seasons to lay claim. But I guess, he is polarizing. He's popular. He might make himself in. I don't think he'll be a first or second ballot. Maybe a couple years. But maybe in 2025 or something like that, Michael Vick might find his way in. What was wrong with my son? He had a rash kind of thing. It basically had a heat rash. I think that's what it's called. But we didn't know. So we'd rather be safe than sorry. But the Canadian medical system, we went in at 5 o'clock. He didn't even see a doctor till 10 o'clock. It was, I was so frustrated. If I don't want to play online and video games because of my temper, it's that times 10 when I'm fucking waiting for something like that. But yeah, everything's fine now. We got some medication for him. Thanks for asking. And I did like the new Trailer Park Boys season. I thought a couple episodes sucked, but for the most part, it was a very good season. I liked it more than the last season. All right, lots of nothing going on there. Here we go, red zone. Let's get some goddamn points on the board. Let's run with Zeke. Do you think Cam Newton can play MVP caliber again? Hell yeah. Like I said, I didn't watch enough Panther games last year to really like offer a valid opinion on why they sucked. I really watched like the only Panther game I remember really was the blowout against Atlanta. So I don't know what exactly it was. I assumed the offensive line couldn't stay healthy, and that's why Cam Newton struggled a lot. I don't know, honestly. I wish I did. It's one of the more like I don't know. I wish like someone that's a Panther fan tell me why the Panthers sucked last year. Was it the offensive line injuries? I know they had some trouble on the right hand side of that offensive line, but man, if I'm the Panthers fan, I would trade up to get Leonard Fournette because Leonard Fournette will complete that offense. He's an exact type of player that they need. But, I mean, yeah, Luke Kuechly got hurt. Like, they just had some injuries. There's only so much you can do. Their secondary was a god... Oh, that don't be a pick. Fuck off. Without Eagle fan bias, do you think the Eagles will win a Super Bowl with Wentz in his career? Yes. It's up. Oh my god, we're getting bodied. This is a fucking loss. We're going to 4-4. Oh, Wentz is playing terrible. Yeah, but for Carson Wentz, yeah, man. Like if he keeps developing, we keep having weapons in front of him. Like we can retain Alshon Jeffrey, and Alshon Jeffrey plays like the potential top 10 wide receiver that he is. I think we certainly will. But you have to keep building around him. They can't get reluctant and give him the Andrew Luck treatment, where it's like, all right, we got our franchise quarterback, now win. You have to continue to keep building. So I think they will. I don't think they're going to rest on their laurels, and they'll continue to build up a strong team around Carson Wentz. But I mean, nothing's for sure in this league. Like if we didn't win the Super Bowl in like 2004, we had a better team, I think, than the Patriots. If T.O. was fully healthy, we would have beat the Patriots, I think. But you only get so many goddamn chances, man. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously, I think the Philadelphia Eagles, they pulled how I feel about the Arizona Cardinals. That last Super Bowl, they peaked. That was it. You had your chance. Now, hopefully, we're back on the upswing again. God damn it, Zeke. Get no heart in Zeke Elliott. That's what I'm worried about. If you worry less about a crop top and more about getting the first downs and moving the goddamn chains. All right, that was a disgusting performance. I'm going to throw a little bit on that defense, though, because we only really had 3 opportunities to get some points. That interception was a bad throw on my part. It was 50-50. I thought my guy could make a play on it, but we're going to smarten up now. What do I think about AP to the Saints? I don't think it's going to happen. Because AP goes to the Saints, it's going to be like a little bit of a mismatch. Because Mark Ingram's coming off his best year statistically. And I don't think that AP wants to be second fiddle to any player. Because there's still plenty of teams that AP could walk on and be the starter. He goes to the Saints. He may be the starter officially. But, you can't... let's see if we can get a win here. I think we'll play a couple of these games. A couple more games than usual. Because I do want to make a playoff push. Yeah, I don't think AP wants to play backup to anyone. And he doesn't... there's plenty of teams he can go to and be the starter day one. I think he's just waiting for the right deal to come along. Do you think Paxton Lynch could be good as Dak via the same supporting cast? Probably not. But again, if you put Paxton Lynch on the Dallas Cowboys, the same Dallas Cowboys as Dak Prescott, I think there'd be a little bit of a drop-off just because Paxton Lynch is more erratic. He's not as safe as Dak Prescott was. He's not as careful of the football. But, I still think Dallas wouldn't have really lost a whole lot of step with having Paxton Lynch in there. He's still a solid quarterback prospect. Thoughts on Eagles getting Garyon Conley? I'd be for it. It would be. I still think Garyon Conley is slightly a reach at 14, but I'm all on corner. I'm happy taking a corner. I do think Marshawn Lynch will be coming back to the Raiders. I hope it happens. I think my girlfriend's going to make the Raiders her official team now because they're going to a new city, so it's like a new team for her. Because right now she likes the Lions. So then, you know. Oh, Tyreek Hill out in space. But yeah, I like the Raiders, and I think Beast Mode and Raiders would be good. I don't think it's going to be as hyped as people think it's going to be. I think people think it's going to be the same Beast Mode that we saw. He took a year off football. He's still going to be good, but I would not be surprised to see him not break 1,000 yards. Reuben Foster and Richard Sherman would complete the defense. Yes, it would. There's zero chance. Negative chance Philadelphia will trade for Richard Sherman. There's no way we could work that on the cap. And, like, seeing what they'd want, like, we'd have to probably give up, like, Brandon Graham. Like, Brandon Graham, like, a 3rd-round pick or 2nd-round pick. And I'd be like, I'm all right. Where does Jabril Peppers go? I see a team like maybe the Patriots would be a good fit. Just because Bill Belichick would probably know how to use them properly. He'll have, like, Bill Belichick's the kind of guy that already has, like, if I get Jabril Peppers, I can put him in this weird safety linebacker hybrid role. Or another team. Like, I mean, some teams have seen it. You've seen what happened with Deion Buchanan. But I think a team like, yeah, the Patriots, I'd probably say just off the top of my head, I think would be the best fit for him. Would you want Reuben Foster to come to Philly? That would 100% be a best player available pick for the Eagles. I wouldn't be against it. I mean, we played a lot of nickel last year. That's why Michael Kendricks didn't see a lot of the field. It was a lot of Nigel Bradham and Jordan Hicks. I assume if Reuben Foster's a fit, he definitely is best player available. I mean, Reuben Foster is very much... Oh, let's go. Good blocking. 13. That was Michael Thomas. Phenomenal blocking. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be against Reuben Foster pick. I think there's bigger positions in need, but it does seem like Michael Kendrick's not going to be on the roster a whole lot longer. And Reuben Foster's a top 10 talent. If we get him at 14, that's BPA. That's a BPA I can get behind. As long as we don't... The only BPA that I can't get behind right now, as I'm looking at it, would be Derek Barnett. I don't see him being that much of an impact for us for a couple years. And you don't get a BPA if he's not going to be an impact for you for a couple years. I just don't see edge rusher. Everyone thinks edge rusher. Sure, in a Jim Schwartz scheme, you definitely need heavy rotation on the edge rusher. But I still like... That's rotation. We're looking at... That right there is building on the rotation. We still need starters. They got to start 95% of the snaps that we have holes at that we could definitely address with that 1st-round pick. So, edge rusher is really the only BPA I wouldn't go after. Wide receiver I would. Linebacker. That's about it. Mixon or Cook? I like Joe Mixon over Dalvin Cook. I think they're both going to be fine. I hate, like... It seems like I talk a lot of shit about Dalvin Cook. I just don't. I think he's overhyped. I think he's going to be good. Just because he's overhyped doesn't mean he's not going to be good. If Dalvin Cook goes to the right scheme and stays healthy, you know, he could be a offensive rookie of the year. But I would have McCaffrey and Mixon and Fournette ahead of Dalvin Cook. Not by a lot for Mixon and McCaffrey, but it's still a decent amount, a considerable amount. Oh my God, throws a cross body. Carson Wentz with the bomb. Should the Panthers draft Cam Robinson? I think 8 is a little high. If they trade back, maybe, but I think 8's a little high now for Cam Robinson. But he is a need, but that would be reaching for a need. Do I think Brock Osweiler will start with the Browns? I do not think Brock Osweiler will start with the Browns. Donta Foreman to the Raiders in the 2nd. Maybe. I think the Raiders are going to be an interesting team to watch because I could see them, if Dalvin Cook slips, if Christian McCaffrey's still there, I could see them maybe going 1st-round running back. It's not their biggest need, but if Marshawn Lynch thing doesn't pan out, I don't think the Raiders are going to be comfortable having Jalen Richard and Dwayne, or whatever, the fuck, Washington as their 2 running backs. Jags should take Fournette. That's the only problem with that, is... I want to also make a video talking about the best fit for players, because Fournette is not the best fit for the Jaguars. Leonard Fournette needs to go to a team that wants to grind and run the ball, which is the Carolina Panthers. Perfect fit. The Jags are a team that have a quarterback that likes to throw the ball a lot. They have talented wide receivers that are going to want great service. They're going to need a lot more passing attempts. I guess that's the easy way to put it, than a team like the Panthers. So when you have more passing attempts, I still think a guy like Christian McCaffrey or even Dalvin Cook or Joe Mixon is a better fit for the Jags than a Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette obviously can do it all if you need him to. He can catch if you have to. But he's not going to excel as much as... oh, fuck! Like, I think Leonard Fournette... If I'm the Jags, I'm seeing, hey, do you want to trade? Do you want to come up here and pick up Leonard Fournette, Carolina? Give us number 8 and like a whatever pick they got for Coney Ely or something like that. Oh, Zeke Elliott with the touchdown. But yeah, that's a fair analysis that the Raiders need to get a power back. I think that they can get Pirine late. They could get Foreman very well. He had a good 40 time. But again, I just see, like, with Derek Carr, they can either go for a yin for a yang, or they can add just the best weapon for Derek Carr to utilize. Oh, I suck at tackle battles. Reuben Foster first, Jabril Peppers second. How possible is that for Arizona? Fairly possible. I mean, those are like the rounds I think they'll go. I think Jabril Peppers will definitely be a second-round pick. And Foster very well could be there. What do they pick? They pick right before the Eagles. Aren't they 13? They're 12 or 13. So, yeah. I mean, that could happen very well. Oh, no. No. Oh, let's go Zeke. That's because he has that crop top. There you go. Does something good for right. Let's get it. Thomas, number 2 thoughts. Again, I was talking to my buddy. I could see it. I'm a little bit worried that Solomon Thomas is kind of a one-year wonder. He doesn't have the production that if I wanted to invest the number 2 pick. But again, it would be a fit. They're making that switch to a 4-3. It's going to be interesting to see if the 49ers see him as a defensive tackle or a defensive end. He's like 275, so that's a fringe. I mean, like realistically, in a 4-3 scheme, you don't want your defensive tackles to be at least like 280, 285. So they probably see him as a 4-3 end. It'd be an all right fit. It'd be obviously I had them going Trubisky. But when I do my actual final 32 mock draft, I'm telling you, Mr. Trubisky is not there. Not Trubisky. Oh, let's get it. And that's it. Beating the Atlanta Falcons. Did you just realize the thing I cheered a Cowboy? He's wearing Eagles green right now, alright? All right, big time victory. We need that one. It looks like it's going to be a logjam here in the NFC. So we got 4 touchdowns with Carson Wentz. Nice production. Oh, yeah, for mods. I'm going to say right now to all my current mods, I forgot. What the fuck is this? God, Madden Ultimate Team is gay. What is this shit? Next stream tomorrow night, all the mods are going to be reset, and then everyone else, if anyone wants to be the same mod, if you want a new opportunity, you feel like you missed out on being a mod, like I said, I don't have a set of mods. I just use familiar names when I can. That'll be next episode. Oh, okay, let's see what we're doing here. We're tied for first. I think we'll simulate the Seahawks. That's usually a rough game. Am I gonna hit up my draft? Most of the mods will be mods again. It's not like I'm pissed off with my mods and I need. Oh shit, we won that game. Nice, 35-30 victory over the Seattle Seahawks. Right on. Let's see if we can keep that momentum. We'll play Green Bay here. It's just like if you tune into tomorrow's stream, I'll see who my current mods are, and if you tune into the current stream, I'll just make you the mod again. But like I said, there's some mods that they're dead. We'll classify them as dead mods. They're not here. I have, like, right now, because I just fucking make random mods every time. I think there's, like, 12, 13 over a dozen mods. So let's see if we can narrow that down to like a clean 5 consistent people that are here. Roast the Cardinals? I have no idea. I'll think about it. Give me a little bit and I'll think about it. Jesus. I don't like being put on the spot like that. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna roast the Cardinals. Is that enough of a diss? There's nothing. Your team's so boring. There's nothing to fucking roast them about. Your most successful quarterback was bagging groceries at one point in his life. Your head coach is a fucking white supremacist. The Aryan Nation. What time will the stream be tomorrow? Probably same time. Probably the same time as today. Usually 9, 10. That's usually when I put the baby to bed and I'm free to do stuff. Can't guarantee it's tomorrow, like I said. Usually, that's how I do it. I put the baby to bed and I stream. So sometimes the baby does not want to go to bed when I want to go to bed, and then it might be too late for me to do a stream. But everything goes out right. We'll be doing a 2017 draft class connected franchise mode tomorrow. Oh, throw it away! Thank fuck. You tell us why the people on the Cardinals are gay. I mean, they play at the university. Their stadium has, like, fucking rollout grass. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about rollout grass. So, what I know here at rollout grass is we have, where I live, this thing called... I don't want to give it away because people might be able to find out what it is. But basically, in the center of our city, there is a tourist attraction. And what they do is they roll out grass. And you know why they have to roll out the grass? Because too many homosexuals were having sex on it in the middle of the night. And there's just dirty old condoms and stuff like that. So pretty much anyone that's an Arizona Cardinal fan, they're probably having gay orgies on that rollout grass before it rolls into the turf. And that's why you're never going to win a Super Bowl. That's why you peak. That's why Calais Campbell's gone. It's because of that. Honey badger, they call him the fucking cream pie badger. That's a special sex position they have on that rollout field that they just roll back there. They say it's because they want to let the sun grow. It's not because of that. It's because... we all know what happens on rollout grass. They act like it's shag carpeted. It's 1975. Papa Molly. Let's have a bunch of gay people. That's what happens. You know, you got Kurt Warner with his 13 kids. They're slave labor. The Aryan Nation. They have all of Kurt Warner's 13 kids. Fucking trying to get all the gross, disgusting things that come out on that rollout carpet. Oh, come on, Zeke. Make that fucking catch. But see, like I said, it's not as funny when the last whatever team I roasted last time, I think it was the Bucks. That was more organic. I wasn't put on the spot. I don't really have, like I said, that should be a shade enough at the Cardinals. What can you possibly roast the Cardinals for? Larry Fitzgerald is like the most universally liked human being in the NFL. Everything else, I mean, you got, yeah. I can target the rollout grass a little bit. All right, let's get a play here. Should we let Zeke Elliott try to run a C4 special? I think we will. Am I hitting up Draft Champs after this? I'm only going to hit up Draft Champs if the live stream cuts short. So if we don't make the playoffs and we still haven't hit the hour mark, we'll see what we can do on Draft Champs. But I guess I fucked it up. Everyone said I should do offline. I did online. We all know. I only have one controller. I'm down to one controller right now with my Xbox, so I don't feel like playing online and having to splurge. Especially up here in Canada, a fucking Xbox One controller costs like $80. I'm trying to save up to get a new computer setup so that when Madden 18 season comes along... Oh, look at Jordan Howard, lead blocker. Does Zeke Elliott get in? No, Zeke Elliott does not get in because of the fucking crop top. All right, let's give it again. Let's keep feeding the C4 special. It's going to work. You're right. That is fucking disrespectful. Thank you guys for waking me up there in the chat. Before we run the C4 special, you can't have Zeke Elliott running it. Let's get a real man to pump this in. You'll send me an Xbox One controller. Fuck. There we go. Perfect. Perfect execution from Jordan Howard. If the Canadian dollar is so bad, then why don't you buy online from an American store? Exactly. If I bought online from an American store, that's how our shitty dollar works. It costs me more to get stuff from America. So that being said, it costs everyone more. So everything in Canada costs more money because most of the stuff comes from America. So they jack up the prices for import and all that stuff. So stuff that usually, if the dollar was on par, that'd cost $50 here in Canada. Because we have to import it from America, it'll cost like, oh my God, Howard's taking over. Do I have a P.O. box? I have no idea what a P.O. box is. I don't think we have those here in Canada. I know what those are though. That iDubbbz guy does it. You know, I'm not big enough to open up a P.O. box. I can usually buy my own shit. Thanks if there's any generosity out there. Feel free. The best way is use the super chat thing. But again, I'm never going to ask for a donation. If you feel like you enjoy this stuff and you want C4 to be able to get a decent computer so that I can... oh my God, what's going on here? So I can have the best setup. Plus, I'm looking to get a 2-monitor setup because I illegally steal a lot of games. I don't want to buy Sunday Ticket. So if I get a 2-computer monitor setup, I can have 2 monitors for 2 different games, plus whatever games on my local television. So I can have a 3-game setup. But yeah, I might do a P.O. box at like 50,000 or something like that. But like I said, I don't know. I was thinking at one time though, what would be cool is open up a P.O. box and you guys can send me like... Obviously, once I get a better computer, I might do like face cam and stuff. You guys send me just random football shit that you might have laying around. And I'll just hang it up on like the background of what. Oh, you better connect on that shit. Let's get it. When you realize the Eagles booed one of their only good players when he got drafted. Hell yeah, man. That's why the draft is going to be exciting in Philly. Best crowd to do it. Well, best and worst crowd to do it in front of. Shit, we lost. Valiant effort team. Defense could not get the job done. Very difficult task to stop Aaron Rodgers. Roast my dad because he left me 2 weeks ago and was cheating on my mom. Well, that's good for you because your dad probably was a homosexual. You don't want that. Was he cheating on your mom with another dude? I guarantee he was. Fuck that guy. Bet you your dad pees sitting down. All right, you don't need to look up to that. Your mom's tougher. Just roll with your moms. Bears should draft Jamal Adams. What do you think? I personally think they're gonna be fine with Quentin Dempsey and Adrian Amos at safety. But if you really want to fall in love, I mean, Adams is worth number 3, so you can roll with that. Do the Eagles trading their 99th pick scare you for their Mixon chances? No, because I feel that if you're going to get Joe Mixon, you'd have to take him in the 2nd round if you're Philly, so it doesn't really affect him. Kelly or Midnight Green? Kelly Green. I like Kelly Green in black. That would be a cool jersey. Why did I pick the name Beast Mode? Because I started my YouTube channel, not really as a YouTuber. I just had my own YouTube channel. In like grade 9, I thought that was cool. Marshawn Lynch was Beast Mode. Beast Mode? That sounds like an edgy name, but then really, if I had the tools, I'd probably just change it to C4, but that's what I've gone by. So we thought Beast Mode TV, kind of cool. And my secondary channel is Beast Coast, because I live on the East Coast. But there's no real meaning to the name. It wasn't really, I don't know. It's just, generic shit. Where do you think Mitchell Trubisky will go? Maybe, now that the more I think about it, I don't think there will be a quarterback taken in the top 10. Maybe the Browns at 12. That seems like, I just keep going back to that they'll get Myles Garrett and then they'll go for a quarterback. Do you think the Eagles should draft Kevin King? Maybe. I depends what the draft board goes, but I think there's better corners there than Kevin King. He's probably my 5th corner. Should the Colts trade down? They could. I think they still would be able to get. They need to go defense, and I think where they are right now at 15, there's going to be someone good there. An edge rusher, a linebacker, someone in the secondary that will be better than trading down. Do I watch WWE? I do not watch a lot. I still kind of try to keep up with it, but I just pretty much read the dirt sheets, and see the results. And there's something worth watching, I'll go download it. But I usually try my hardest to watch like the big 4 pay-per-views: the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, and Survivor Series. Because we get shit faced with the homies. Because it's like we did that ever since we were like 10 years old. We were getting shit faced at 10 years old, but yeah. Oh my god. Reppin' 93 as well. If you ever come to Banff, do a meet and greet, charge out the ass. Go to Banff. I've heard some good things about Banff. Never been there. I heard it's nice visually. I think my brother stopped out there. But that's too fucking far for me. Way out there out in Alberta. But who knows? The jobs here suck, so you may have to move out there eventually to get some work. Stay in balance. Fuck. Did you hear the Naz Smith story from North Carolina? No idea. Will I do a meet and greet? Tell me what it is, the buddy that asked that Naz story. I did not hear about it. Will I do a meet and greet when you get bigger? I don't know. That seems kind of full myself. I feel like if you have to do a meet and greet, you have to have like, I don't know, like 500,000 subscribers. But I don't know. If I get bigger, I may try to make a trip to Philadelphia every year and do vlogs and stuff. I've kind of talked about it in the past. And maybe if there's Eagle fans, people in Philly are going to that game, I certainly would, talk to you guys. Then again, though, when I go to Eagle games now, I only get fucking lower bowl seats. So you may be sitting up in the nosebleeds, up to your financial situation. As we're getting raped here right now by Ricky Jean-Francois. Write a book, yeah. Write a book about how my average 30,000 subscriber YouTube channel is going. Oh, that's coming back. Should I go to the draft? I live close. I would 100% go to the draft, especially because Philly now is a first-round pick, and you can boost shit at everyone else. Perfect time. And I saw, Tony Romo replaced Phil Simms. Good. Phil Simms was the worst. I hate Phil Simms. I hate pretty much everyone on CBS. CBS is terrible. It's all about Fox. Like, the CBS halftime show has, like, the most bland, like, Bart Scott's terrible. I'm a big Fox guy. I like Howie. I'm not a huge fan of Michael Strahan, obviously, but I like Howie and Terry and Jimmy. Don't stream anymore. I'm going to an NBA game. Well, fuck, bro. I can't go on you. Oh, my God. Darren Sproles with a stiff arm. Little for nothing, but there you go. All right, we'll get a punt in here. Quick punt. See if we can change the field. Oh, that's a great punt there, C4. Come on, Bradbury on the coverage. There you go. Release my rosters? Maybe. They're my rosters. They're my baby. Why? Why release my hard-earned rosters? No, but in seriousness, what the fuck? Usually in May after the draft, I start a series where I kind of show what I think the Madden 18 roster is going to look like, and I also hype up, like, hey, if you want to stay on Madden 17, for example, here's just a quick example. If Madden next year gets rid of the ability to edit players, I'm fucking not getting it. Well, obviously, I'm going to have to fucking get it, but I still will play Madden 17. I won't uninstall it because I want to keep being able to edit rookies and stuff like that. So I release my custom Madden 18 rosters, which will have the real rookies, which will have my personal ratings. And I release them every single year. They're usually a fairly popular series for me. So that's why I haven't released my rosters yet, because I don't want to give them all away for free, because I got to get the videos, the content. But they will be released eventually, at some point. Charge for your roster. I think that's a little full of myself. It's not that good. It's a pretty good roster. I will say it's probably the best roster that you're going to find because of my football IQ. But it's not good enough for me to charge money for it. But I have thought about that. If times really got tough and like I could not fucking, if I became all about the money, I might do like a Patreon and fucking, hey guys, literally $3 and I'll give you my rosters. But that is like, that's not the way I want to do things. I've thought about it though. I guess the money hunger in me has thought about it, but I don't think I'll ever be able to bring myself to do something like that. I'm a man of the people. Why take away something from people that they could use and enjoy? Charge them for money. They already watch me on YouTube. You support me on YouTube. You got signed for recruiting agency. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, there we go. Big extension for the equalizing touchdown. Hunter Henry, let's go. That wasn't a... Come on, just tighten that shit up, Carson. Fuck. Browns plus all the offseason free agents. Would that go to the Super Bowl? Probably not. Oh my god, man. The tight ends are balling out. Let's get it. How often do you smash? I don't know if you know how pregnancy works, but there's a down period, so we're in that down period at the moment. What's it like to live in Canada? Fucking a lot of good and a lot of bad. The good is it's like generally most Canadians are pretty fucking nice. I like the weather because I like winters. I like the cold. Like fall is my favorite time of year, but the summers are also really fun. Like the summer is perfect temperature. We get obviously we're in different degrees. We're Celsius and you guys are Fahrenheit. But yeah, that's good. The food's good. We're gonna have legal pot soon. But obviously the jobs in Canada suck. Our government is really like, let's try to help everyone else before we help our own country. So, I mean, there's positives and negatives everywhere. But I'd say, like, overall, if the job employment was a little bit better in Canada, it would be perfect. But I have thought about moving to America. It would be fun. If I ever got big enough on YouTube that YouTube would be my job, I would think about moving to America, moving to the States. But we're pretty far away from, well, not pretty far, but we're decently far away from that goal. Good healthcare, yes. Good healthcare. Oh, come on, 24. Where in America would you move? Philly. I love Philly. But if I have a pick a choice, whatever, there's a couple states that don't pay taxes. That'd be cool. I'd never go to Florida. Can't fuck with the heat. I hate humidity. But I'd love to move to Philly. I think, well, Philly's pretty much, like, realistically, Philadelphia. Anywhere on the East Coast in America has, like, the same weather we have. I do like snow. Philly dangerous as fuck. I know, I've been to Philly. I've been to a couple. One time we got a little bit lost in Philly. We got a little stranded, and we got to a part of Philly that tourists don't usually go to. But I just live in the nice part of Philly, bro. Live just right inside of Center City. South Dakota doesn't have taxes. Yeah, but that's fucking worse than I live. At least where I live, it's still like a big-ish city. And there's stuff like, what the fuck is there to do in South Dakota? Move to Compton. Oh, there you go, Braden. That's sick, bro. Keep me posted. Come to Arizona. Can't deal with the fucking desert. I know houses are cheap as shit out there, though. I know someone actually moved to Arizona from where I live. All right, we let Trent Murphy intercept us there. Cool. Oregon, honestly, I've thought about Oregon. Oregon has a spot that I could move to. But then, I'd have to do Chip Kelly rebuilds every day of my life. I'd make a great Mexican, I would. I hate Mexican food. I'd make a terrible Mexican. I'd have some taco flavored kisses though. Taco, taco, burrito, burrito, taco flavored kisses. Why am I using Dak Prescott? Because Carson Wentz is the vastly superior quarterback, clearly. Dak Prescott couldn't make that throw right there. Oregon college football thoughts. Downturn. They, again, another program that peaked and really struggled in the layover from Chip Kelly to whoever the fuck their coach is right now. They'll bounce back, though. Like, they got state-of-the-art facilities. Just, the fact that they've had to get, like, JUCO transfer quarterbacks or something like that for, like, the last 2 years, or, like, Div 2 transfer quarterbacks, they got to do a better job recruiting. What places have you gone in Philly for a cheesesteak? None. Have not got I've gone to Philly. I can't forget if I've gone there 2 times or 3 times. But I haven't got a cheesesteak because I have a fickle stomach, and I guarantee, like, I go there for Eagles games, and I always just comes up to, like, should I get a cheesesteak and risk shitting my pants at the stadium and missing half the game or not? So maybe the day, like, eventually I'll do, like, a week-long trip, and I'll do it. But when I'm there, as a Canadian, where there's certain restaurants we don't have, I just Five Guy and fry the shit out of my trip. But I went to I think we went to Geno's or Pat's, one of them. Either Pat's or Geno's, and my buddy's got food there, and it smelled pretty good. But I'm not a huge cheesesteak guy. Even here in Canada, we have it at certain places. Obviously, it's not going to be as good. You're not getting it from the source. Favorite college jerseys? I'm a fan of some of the unique jerseys that Oregon makes, but favorite jerseys. Well, I'm partial. I like the Gators when they wear the blue tops and orange bottoms. Do you think Sherman will be traded? I do not think Rich Sherman will be traded. Surprise Defensive Rookie of the Year winner next year. Assuming the favorites to win it would be like Myles Garrett, Marshawn Lattimore. I think Jared Davis, maybe, if he goes to a starting spot, he could win it. Again, that'll be Florida Gator bias, but he's an outside guy. Surprise winner wouldn't be the guy that's consensus the number one. Like Reuben Foster's number one linebacker. I think guys like Solomon Thomas, Jonathan Allen, Myles Garrett, Marshawn Lattimore, Malik Hooker, and Jamal Adams couldn't be surprise winners because they're all highly regarded. So I think Jared Davis will be the next tier down. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, the chat's getting fucking crazy here. I can't keep all the questions. Why is Florida your favorite college team? Because I like them. I was trying to get into college football the year Tebow was a backup, and he got some disparaging amount of minutes. But he was featured. He looked fucking crazy. I was like, that guy's a quarterback? Oh my god, that was a bad throw. That could have been a touchdown. So I got on the Tebow wagon the year before he was a starter, and then it was glorious after this. And then we've been in fucking quarterback hell for the last 6 years. It's very depressing. So I kind of bandwagon Florida fan, but not really. I jumped on the bandwagon right as it was almost being completed. But I think I've more than enough earned my stripes to say that I'm a Gator fan after these fucking terrible years we've had the last 3 years of just goddamn abysmal offense. Live streams are a lot more active than they used to be. Yeah, man, that's what I said, man. The last 2-3 live streams have been fucking fun. A lot less people spamming the same things and dropping N-bombs. It's great. I mean, if that's your prerogative, you love to drop N-bombs. I mean, you do you, boo. But, how did Will Grier do? Will Grier looked fucking promising, and then he got tested positive for steroids because he gained 30 pounds in the offseason, and then he transferred to West Virginia. But we got 2 solid quarterbacks right now. I think Felipe Franks will end up being the starter. He's a big Cam Newton type. Oh my god, what a fucking throw was that? Did you make a video about Tebow to the Eagles? Way back in the day, I did. I don't know if it's still on the channel. I did a cleanse of all my videos from before that didn't get at least 1,000 views. I removed, unfortunately. Oh, on a dime. Let's go. Great throw. But yeah, probably did. Who do you think will get Adrian Peterson? I still want to say the fucking Patriots. There's just something in me that just thinks the Patriots are going to go, dude, we're going to get him and give just a big middle finger to the rest of the NFL. Biggest bust ever, probably Ryan Leaf or Jamarcus Russell. Surprise quarterback of this year's draft class, Davis Webb. What the Eagles' record will be? 12-4. That's way too generous. I think the Eagles' ceiling is probably 12 wins, but their floor, I think this year is 8 or 9. I personally feel like we're gonna be 9-7 and get the second wild card spot after the Tampa Bay Bucks. Great touchdown by Tyreek Hill. Woo! Get it. Where do you see Reuben Foster going in the draft? It's kind of hard to think that he'll slip past both the Bengals and the Saints. So I think maybe the Saints at 12 I think they pick at 11 or 12. That'd be a good get for them. They need pretty much the best playmakers they can get on the defensive side of the ball, and I think he fits that mold. If the Bills took Quincy Wilson in the second, would be a good fit. Yes, he would be a good fit. Big, long, rangy guy. There you go. Do you think the Eagles should build around Wentz? Does the Tin Man have a sheet metal cock? Will the Raiders dominate if they get Marshawn Lynch? I don't think the Marshawn Lynch signing is going to be nearly as good as people think, but it's still going to be a good signing. But people are thinking that they're like, oh my God, they're going to cakewalk to the Super Bowl. He's been out of football for a year. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. I wouldn't be surprised to see him, struggle to get back into shape, and it might be like mid-season till he's back into, shades of his former self. But he's still going to be good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's going to make as drastic of an impact. That whole team's still going to go live and die through Derek Carr. Don't get it twisted. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can't keep up with the questions. Do Eagles have a top 5 offensive line? Close. If they're not 5 in the top 5, they're very close. When healthy. Will Nick Saban go down as the best college coach ever if he wins one more title? Maybe. It's one of those things like, it's like he has the best teams, so can you really say that he's done the most with that? Because he's kind of expected to win. But then again, there's two aspects of college coaching. It's getting the most of your players on the field and having good recruiting, and he's doing it all. I don't know if he'll ever be a consensus greatest ever, but he's always, he's probably top 5 now. Could the Cardinals sneak into the playoffs? Certainly they could sneak into the playoffs. If Carson Palmer plays light out and they stay relatively healthy. But I'm just a little worried on the defensive side of things. The offensive line, I think both their lines. That's what I'm a little bit worried about. Who's playing safety? Who they got for safety? Is it going to be, are they going to move Honey Badger? Are they going to move Tyvon Branch back there? There's just a little uncertainty. Maybe I'll be able to give a better answer after the draft to see who they get. What do I think the Chargers' record's going to be in 2016-17? Well, if they're healthy, they could very well make a playoff push, but the Chargers, for some reason, are never healthy. They must have the worst medical staff in the NFL. I'd say they should be able to get 8 wins at least. Very tough division, though. Every divisional matchup there is going to be a war. As much as I want to say the NFC East is the best division, I still have to give the nod to the AFC West. Why does everyone hate Peppers? People hate Peppers because he's more a safety than a linebacker, and his coverage skills need some work. So right now he's just a super athlete that can play a bunch of spots, but his coverage ability is probably going to get exposed in the NFL. Now, he definitely has the ability and talent to develop that, but he's still a prospect. He's a project still player. Harbaugh had to fuck that up by having him play linebacker last year as opposed to keeping him at safety. Basically, that speaks good character, though. Jabril Peppers did what he did to help the team versus trying to help his draft stock. So maybe that goes well for his character. He's obviously got to interview well. He certainly could be a first round. I think he probably should be picked no earlier than between 20 and the end of the first round. But I personally, if I was a team that said, where would I pick Jabril Peppers? I'd say first half of the second round. He's a second round prospect to me. But what the fuck do I know, right? I just make mock drafts on YouTube for the past 5 years. As we get a big victory over the Baltimore Ravens as we're trying to make a late season push to get the playoffs. 4 touchdowns again from Carson Wentz. What's your opinion of Kerry Hyder Jr.? Underrated guy, man. He's a dude that when I did my Lions draft, I had them still addressing defensive line. But, I mean, upside there, I think he'll be a very nice rotational edge rusher. Panthers or Falcons for NFC South? Falcons. Nick Marshall, Auburn's quarterback. Do you think he would have been better off in the NFL if he didn't switch to corner? No, he's not. He was just 100% a college quarterback. He had to make a move to either like wide receiver, running back, corner, anything like that. He definitely made the transition to corner because he's a quarterback and he's more familiar with like how to read stuff. It's probably an easy transition for him, but he's always really undersized. Do you think the Chargers could sneak into the playoffs or in the wild card? Yep. I think that's right about where I think they'll be next year. I think the Chargers... Okay, let's see where we're at in terms of the division here. Fuck for a second. All right, we're going to need to play these last 2 games here and try to win out. Oh, Jesus Christ, let's try to... Yeah, okay. Questions go way too fucking fast, but the last one, yeah, I think the Chargers, that's where they're at. They're both wild card, but it's going to be tough, man. I think the Raiders are going to win that division, assuming Derek Carr is back to full strength. So then it's going to be a battle between the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos all pretty much have really, really close rosters, really, really good rosters. But the Chargers have Phil Rivers. The Chargers are the best quarterback out of those. So if Phil Rivers can really take over, I could certainly see the Chargers squeaking out over the Chiefs and Broncos for a wild card spot. Torrey Smith or John Ross right now? John Ross in a heartbeat. What kind of season will Alshon Jeffrey have? More than 1,200 yards or less? I'm going to say less. I think Alshon will get like 1,100 yards and like 7-8 touchdowns. He's going to have a good year for the Eagles. I don't know. I just have a feeling he's not going to be healthy the whole year. Melifonwu to Arizona. I think that's a little bit of a reach. Melifonwu, again, another guy. I would not feel comfortable taking him before like pick 20. Will the Chiefs draft a quarterback? Yes, they will. They have no backup now that Nick Foles is gone, and I do think this is do or die for Alex Smith. And I don't know necessarily how his contract works out. I actually did recorded the Chiefs mock draft today, and I was like, I'm not exactly sure if they can get out of Alex Smith's contract next year or like what the dead money situation is. But personally, I think that this is like their last year of seeing if Alex Smith can get them to a Super Bowl. I don't think he will, and I think they're going to be like, all right, well, he's getting paid good money. Better go to another guy. But I don't know how early they'll take a quarterback. I don't see them taking one in the first round. I think they'll be a team that if they're coming their second round pick, if its quarterback's still there, maybe. But I'm looking at day 3 or late day 2 prospects. So Davis Webb potentially. I think Davis Webb's now pretty much locked to go in the second round. Maybe if he slips. Nathan Peterman's good. Brad Kaya. Guys like that. Project quarterbacks that could sit this year behind Alex Smith. And then you can look and move forward to the next season. I think that's probably in the cards for the Kansas City Chiefs. Richard Sherman or Josh Norman? Sherman. I've always been a big fan of Richard Sherman. I don't know why, really, either. Maybe it's because that post-game goddamn shoot interview he fucking called on Michael Crabtree after they beat the 49ers in the playoffs. That was fucking awesome. Best player on the Eagles defense right now, Fletcher Cox. Is Mike Williams the next great wide receiver? I think he'll be solid in the NFL. I don't see necessarily great right now because we don't know if he's going to be able to get separation in the NFL. Because if not, then he might just be, your next just tall wide receiver that's a good red zone threat and not a complete wide receiver because he can fail to get separation. I think if any wide receiver is going to be the next great wide receiver, it's going to be Corey Davis. What position do I have the Chiefs going in the first round of my mock? Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. The Chiefs were the only mock that I had to redo. One thing I was thinking about doing was the Texans because obviously when I recorded and did my actual mock, Tony Romo hadn't retired, so I kind of didn't have the Texans pulling the trigger on a quarterback. I wasn't going to redo my entire mock draft just because of that. Because, also, I don't think any of the quarterbacks that are going to go high outside of Trubisky fit what Bill O'Brien wants to do. I think any of the quarterbacks that they could get probably as good of a chance to succeed as Tom Savage next year. And again, maybe that's because I've been a fan of Tom Savage. I think there's some upside there. He was great at Pitt. But anyway, talking about the Chiefs, originally I had them going John Ross. I said, what would be the best thing to do for the Chiefs? Well, why not just have the most terrifying wideouts by having John Ross and Tyreek Hill as your outside guys. Who the fuck's going to cover that? I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty damn good. And then I just thought, like, Alex Smith cannot throw the ball deep. Like, they're going to have to do slants the entire time. So then I changed it up. I have them going corner. What corner? Who knows? But I think they have to get another corner outside of Marcus Peters. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Probably Fournette. Especially if Fournette goes to the Panthers. I'm going to say Offensive Rookie of the Year. What do I think of Jalen Mills? I think his ceiling's probably a solid to good corner 2. I don't ever see him as like a true lockdown corner. But the fact that we got him in the 7th round, I'm fine with that with the Eagles. Every team needs a good corner 2. We just have to go and find a way to get a corner 1. But he could very much be the Sheldon Brown to someone's Lito Shepard for the Eagles secondary. We got Corey Coleman in the slot. Let's just run off with Carson Wentz. Get it? Should the Eagles keep specimen cuts away from Lane Johnson? Yes, Lane Johnson needs to stay the fuck away from Mexican supplements. Needs to stop going down to Tijuana for his off-season workouts. Same with Alshon Jeffrey. I hope those two guys don't. You just don't like Eagle. If I'm Jeffrey Lurie, I'm 100% putting an undercover agent at the Mexico border. I'm like, Mr. Lurie, we had a Toyota Corolla with Lane Johnson and Alshon Jeffrey trying to get in here. I'd be like, yeah, send them the fuck home. What do you think of Charles Harris? He's one of the guys that's actually really growing on me. I'm going to tell you right now, my mock draft, I have him going in the 2nd round, but I watched Path to the... I don't know, what the fuck? The Game Changers thing they put on NFL Network. Man, that guy looks like an animal. I think he's going to be solid. He always looked good, but I like his mentality. Sold me. Good edge rusher. Do you like Patrick Peterson? He's good, man. If Patrick Peterson was 2 years younger, because what is he now? He's like 28. He would have been like, if you tell me to take a corner in the NFL, I'll take Pat Pete. I like the size, I like the speed. He's a shutdown corner. Still is, but now if you do the debate, if you can have one corner to start your team off with for the franchise, I mean, he's at that age where he's going to be, he's nearing the end of his prime. But yeah, Pat Pete's a great corner. God, I suck at tackle battles. Fuck. Where will Tim Williams fit best? I like Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's a good fit for him. I think maybe Baltimore. I always say I mocked him to the Ravens. Kevin King's not a first rounder. I can see that. I think Kevin King is a 2nd rounder in my opinion. I think the only maybe team he'd be a first rounder would be is Seattle because they like their big rangy outside guys. But obviously if you're the Seahawks, you should be looking at the offensive line there. Oh, rest in peace, Tyreek Hill. Big old hit there. Best draft analyst. I personally like Mike Mayock. I think Mike Mayock's probably my favorite guy because he's the guy. I just like the guy that I agree with the most. I'd say Daniel Jeremiah and Mike Mayock are probably the 2 guys that I find myself agreeing with the most. Worst is Walter Football. I hate Bucky Brooks. Oh, throw that shit away. There we go. Nice. Do you think the Cowboys go corner edge rush? I think if I'm the best player available, whatever's still there, there's probably going to be a good edge rush. Like Charles Harris could still be there, but for the secondary, there could be anyone. Trey White, Garyon Conley, Kevin King, Cordrea Tankersley, all those guys will be there. So I think better corner will be there probably than a better edge rusher, but both those spots are areas of need that they need to work on. All right, D, hold them with 2 field goals. Let's get it. I wish we could sign Jonathan Hankins. We don't need Jonathan Hankins, bro. We just got Timmy Jernigan. I assume you're an Eagles fan. We're fine at D-tackle. God. What's your favorite part of the draft? Obviously the 1st round when the Eagles pick. But probably in the draft process. Gotta be the combine. But before, when I just started to watch the stuff, it was always the 40-yard dash. That's what people want to see. But now I really like to watch the on-field drills because it's really like, I don't know. I actually overvaluate. Like when I do it, people say I watch tape and stuff. It's really tough to watch anyone on YouTube that doesn't get paid full time to be a draft expert. I guarantee you they're watching highlight reels of like cornerbacks, offensive line because there's nothing really you can watch. You can't study all 22 footage. There's not a lot of that stuff available. But I really, really like watching the on-field drills at the combine. And if you can watch on-field drills at pro days and stuff, because that's a really good measure of, you know, how good of an athlete these people got, how well are their hips, how like the little things that you can look for. Who's the hardest hitter in the draft? I think there's a couple guys, different positions, obviously. I think Jared Davis, Reuben Foster, Justin Evans of Texas A&M, the safety. The worst thing, I remember I saw someone said, man, Obi Melifonwu, biggest hitter in the draft because he's like 6'4", 220. Fucking guy hits like a feather. Big time touch. Let's get it. Who do you think's the most underrated cornerback? I really like Cam Sutton from Tennessee. I like the way he plays. He's a leader. Obviously, there's injury concerns. He's not the biggest guy, but I'd probably say Cam Sutton's. I like Cam Sutton. Rasul Douglas' tape looks fairly good. Yeah, I'd probably say those two. Chidobe Awuzie. I've been high on Chidobe Awuzie since like the mid-season. I've been high on Chidobe Awuzie since I saw Colorado play like week 5, and he was projected to be like a 4th, 5th rounder. I thought the Eagles, obviously, he's going to rise. Right now he's even in first round conversation, but watching Awuzie play, he's really good. The only problem with him as an Eagle player, as an Eagles fan, I think he might transition best to a safety. We don't need a safety here in Philly, but I think Awuzie is going to be a great prospect in the NFL. Le'Veon or David Johnson? David Johnson, no off-field issues. Where do you think Zach Cunningham will be drafted? I had him going in the first round. I recorded actually the video today that I have him going to a team in the first round. He goes before pick 25 in the first round. That's because, oh no. Oh, best field goal kicker on YouTube still gets that shit in, bruh. Casey Hayward or Jason Verrett? Jason Verrett, he's younger. Even though Hayward had the interceptions last year, I'd rather Verrett. Are you going to the draft in Philly this year? Thought about it. If I didn't have the baby, I probably would go. Probably would go and film a bunch of videos. And then be able to write some of the trip off as a business expense. More and more people are mocking Reuben Foster. How do I feel about that? I don't think he's going to slip past the New Orleans Saints, to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to be there. Wouldn't hate the pick. Not my favorite pick. Wouldn't be my first option. But he's a freak, man. He's a freak of nature, and that would instantly give us, without a doubt, top 5 linebacking core in the NFL. Having Reuben Foster, Jordan Hicks, and Nigel Bradham. But again, if we get anyone on the defensive side of the ball that's not an edge rusher, just because I am 100% getting an edge rusher in the first round, I'm going to be confident with it because you know Jim Schwartz, who proved himself as an elite defensive coordinator once again last year, he gives the okay. If Jim Schwartz and Joe Douglas are given the okay on a defensive player that's not a corner, I'm fine with it. I'll be able to accept that. Where do you think Raekwon McMillan will go? I think he'll be a mid-second rounder. I think he'll go in the second round. He tested really well at the combine, but his tape's really, really inconsistent. More inconsistent, I feel, than Zach Cunningham, which is why I had Cunningham slightly hedged a little bit higher than him. Have you done a face reveal? Yes, I've done multiple face reveals. The only reason why I don't do face reveals right now is that once my computer sucks, and when I run my capture software and have a webcam going at the same time, my computer shits the bed. I actually think I tried a live stream last, maybe Christmas time. Before that, trying to get a webcam, my computer fucking crashed. So I was like, all right, until I can upgrade. Because I have an expensive-ass webcam, too, and it's kind of annoying that I can't really utilize that. But yeah, my face is all over the fucking channel. Alshon Jeffrey video was the last one I think I did, where I talked about the Eagles getting Alshon Jeffrey. But all last summer, during Eagles camp, I was making like a daily vlog just on my fucking iPhone. I remember Nigel Bradham at Florida State. He was an animal at Florida State. He was really good. I will not be ashamed to admit that I found out about him from NCAA. Remember I down at the NCAA rosters, they had this outside linebacker that was like a 96 overall with like 100 hit power. And I was like, who the fuck's this guy? And then when I watched college, I was like, that was a good thing about NCAA. The rosters would let me, like, when I was watching a game, I could, like, see, like, oh, man, fucking Nigel Bradham. Who's he? He's a linebacker. Let's watch him. I remember watching, I think I probably only saw 2 or 3 of those games. I was like, man, this guy's a stud. And then he went, like, the 4th round or something stupid like that to the Bills. So I was really, really happy. And I want to say, Look at my video last year where I talked about the Eagles' free agency signings. I loved. No, so many people were just like, "Oh yeah," and they got Nigel Bradham. I was so pumped we got Nigel Bradham. I would never imagine that he'd have the season he had for us, but I knew he was going to be a big time player for us. I actually think my exact words was Nigel Bradham is a Malcolm Jenkins like signing, a guy that's kind of on the radar, but he's going to perform really well because he's familiar. Worked with Jim Schwartz in Buffalo, and look what we did, man. He pretty much made Michael Kendricks obsolete. Who will be the biggest bust of 2017? I've said it multiple times. Mitchell Trubisky. If he goes to the wrong scheme. You still like Tease? I love him. Best tape, still today, the best tape. And I say tape like I watched the tape. I watched every Florida Gator game. Best tape I saw, best corner I saw on film and in game last year in college. Well, he was healthy. Who do you think we should pair in the backfield with Wentz? His name's Joe Mixon. That's who it is. What are the chances Lions win a playoff game? I think they're the second best team in that division. They're got to make the wild card. I think they're not. I don't think anyone's touching Green Bay this year. Green Bay stays healthy now with Martellus Bennett. That's a scary offense. If they had a running back, if they can get Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara. Oh my God, I missed that. And there's the worst field goal you'll ever see. I was scratching my chin. What do you think of Treston Deku? Like late round picks, probably hope to make special teams. But then again, anyone that follows me on Twitter, last time I said a guy is going to be a late round pick and make special teams, it was Aaron Jones, the running back from Texas, San Antonio. And he started like him and some teammates from Texas, San Antonio were shit talking me on Twitter. So I got to be careful with my words. Or Treston Deku and his fucking Oregon State buddies are going to hit me up on Twitter, shit talking me. Fuck Aaron Jones. They got rid of Jared Cook, yeah, but they still have. I think they got Lance Kendricks and Martellus Bennett. Like their tight end situation, I think's a little better. And they still have that dude that catches the Hail Marys. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Richard Rodgers. So, yeah. Best field goal kicker. Yeah, I've been fucking slacking on my field goals. Let me be honest with you. Maybe it's just draft season. Maybe I'm too focused on the drafts and like trying to come up with creative ideas for Chip Kelly rebuilds that my field goals have taken a step back. And it's also because I haven't been playing my Eagles Connected franchise mode. There we go. C4 special time. You know what we do when it's C4 special time, everybody. Oh my God, why is he starting my fullback? It's fucking stupid. Zeke Elliott just cannot run the C4 special. I think it's because of the crop top. Keelan Witherspoon in the mid-third, Awuzie in the mid-second. I think Witherspoon's a riser. I think some teams... Oh, come on, Jordan. We'll go to the other side. I think some teams have him... I think they're both going to go in the second round. I think personally, I agree with you. I think Awuzie is a second rounder now, and Witherspoon's a third rounder. But Witherspoon, long rangey guy, tested very well at the combine. I can see him, some team falling in love. Max Vinglish, shout out to you, bro. Shout out. What team is the next Chip Kelly rebuild? Like I said, in case you're tuning in, usually rebuilds every Friday, but I had some issues with the baby this week, so I haven't had any time really outside of my streams to record anything special in particular. So rebuilds will be next weekend, and I think I'm going to try to do a Chip Kelly rebuild, which is the last one I did, and then one of my revivals. So I think next week will be the Colts rebuild revival. That's Darren Sproles getting some action on 3rd and 10. Takes the fucking C4 special for 20 yards. But I'm going to say it's either going to be the Colts rebuild or I may do the Cowboys Chip Kelly. I think the Cowboys Chip Kelly rebuild is going to be the next one I'm going to do. Just because that's going to be hilarious. The comment section of that one is going to be hilarious. I'm going to have a fucking field day with that. If you start a football team, would you have guys off-field issues like beating their girlfriends and win every game or good guys? I don't give a shit what you do in the off-field, all right? I take the Charles Barkley approach. I don't know, a lot of you guys are probably not old enough for when Charles Barkley played, but his tagline, Charles Barkley, was "I'm not a role model." So I think it's a fine balance of things, but it's winning. Football is not a moral fiber game. Maybe it's just because I'm not a religious guy that will straight up write people off because I don't give a shit. Maybe it's I'm evil that I don't care. I think like there's a balance to it, but yeah, you told me I could win every game, but I have a bunch of, oh my god. No. We fucked that up. God damn it. Yeah, I'd win every game with a bunch of assholes. Certainly would. Is there a chance Jared Goff can develop to a good quarterback? Yes, there's still time. You can't give up on him. C.J. Smith or Aaron Grimes? C.J. Smith. Who had the most hype but was terrible? Since I've been scouting players, I say that in quotations. Who's someone I got really wrong? I was really wrong on Geno Smith, I can tell you that. Geno Smith looked like, everything you wanted. He had a big arm, had like 40 fucking touchdowns, pocket quarterback, but could also run, and then he just, I don't know, he got fucking punched in the face, and it was, it's been down. I'd say Geno Smith's probably the biggest guy I've been wrong about. Can you compare Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon? Kinda. It's not like a night and day comparison, but they're somewhat similar. I think Gurley's more of a power back, and Melvin Gordon's more of a one cut. But they're very similar. Thoughts on high school wrestling? Gay. Not a fan of high school wrestling. I remember we were getting like a high school wrestling team, and one of my buddies joined. He's like, "Yeah, first practice they told us like how to." Like, you might want to think about, like, sports or something else so you don't get a boner while you're rubbing other guys. And I was like, man, I think that just means you're gay. Not for me, but I appreciate wrestling because it makes you usually a balanced MMA fighter. And I like it watching MMA. What's your opinion on Kyle Shanahan and the Shanahan zone run scheme? I think that Carlos Hyde may not succeed in it. That's my worry if I'm a Niner fan. Tom Brady really play 5 or 6 more years? No. Tom Brady's eventually... Oh, that's fucking coming back. Tom Brady, I think, eventually is going to get a concussion sooner than later, and he's just got to retire. He's like, yeah, fuck this. I got enough money. Got enough Super Bowls. I'm fine. I really don't want to have, CTE, so I'm getting out while the going's hot. What do you think about Fournette's weight loss? I think that he already came out and said he had fucking water weight at the combine. That was 240. So like a UFC fighter, I guarantee he was 240 at the weigh-ins, but he probably ran a lot of his drills 230. He's probably pretty close to what he was at his pro day. No, you're not a Cowboys fan, but what do you think of David Irving? I like it, man. He looks good. Big, long-rangey defensive edge rusher. They brought him back. I think they picked up his option or something like that, ERFA. I think he's good. I think he's going to be a solid rotational edge rusher that can develop into something better. Who's the best sleeper that you've found? Stephon Diggs. I call it Stephon Diggs. I always talk about how I called Stephon Diggs. When Stephon Diggs had like 15 receptions in a game last year, I tweeted about that I called Stephon Diggs. As we were bodying this game here for the most part. This is for a playoff spot here, by the way. There we go. I think we just got ourselves a playoff spot. Will Arsenal get top 4? I hope not. If Arsenal doesn't get top 4, Wenger's out. Who do you think will have a breakout year? I want to say Alshon Jeffrey. Maybe Alshon, but breakout year, that's kind of tough. Maybe Mariota. Maybe if he's healthy, that could be like my comeback player of the year if he'll qualify for that with the injury. Eddie Lacy, I don't think will help the Seahawks that much. The Lions, P-Run the Lions, yes, they could use a power back. As we got a bye, let's get it. Marcus Schutz, just shirt your pants, bro. It's all right. I shirt my pants sometimes when I take pre-workout. That's how you know it's working. All right, let's take a quick look at our stats here before we jump into our first playoff matchup on the year. Not a bad season from Carson Wentz. 3,600 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, and 16 picks. Still no Eagles quarterback that broke 4,000 passing yards. Run the ball, 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns from Zeke, 435 and 13 from Jordan Howard. Clearly, it wasn't just me that was bringing him in on special packages on the C4 special. No good, really wide receiver seasons. Fuller, 687 and 4, 664 and 6 from the tight end Hunter Henry, 806 from Michael Thomas, 692 and 8 for Tyreek Hill. Defensive side of the ball, 131 tackles for Reggie Ragland, 109 for Leonard Floyd. We got 14 sacks from, in my opinion now, the best defensive player in this year's Madden, Joey Bosa. Ogba with 12. I mean, these guys are both studs. 7.5 from Buckner. We got 5 picks from Jalen Ramsey, and a bunch of dudes had 2. So not a bad year from our rookies, and we got ourselves a playoff spot. I don't think we made the playoffs last year with the 2015 draft class. So here we go, take on the 10-6 Detroit Lions. How hard does it do a mock draft? Well, when I did my full 7-round mock draft, probably took me 8 hours to do. I had some time to kill. Basically, when you're babysitting, you have some time to kill when he's sleeping, so I was able to do it. But it took a lot of time. I don't know if I'm going to do it again next year because it took fucking so long to do it. But you guys seem to like that series, the mock draft series, so I may do it a little bit earlier, though, so it's not just like my daily upload will be the mock draft. I would like it more so to have different stuff in case you're not here for the mock draft, you're not really into the mock draft, you're here for my other content. I've kind of been slacking on that a little bit, but we're getting back to it. Mock drafts. I'm still have a couple more to record, but I did 8 videos today. I think there's 4 more I need to do tomorrow, and then I'm all done that. I can start working on back connected franchise modes and rebuilds and all that good shit. All right, we're in a snow game at Philly. Let's get this against the Detroit Lions. Bringing up bad memories about that matchup we had against the Lions last year where the fucking Pete Morelli cost us that game. Worst ref game I've ever seen. For the Chip Kelly rebuild on the Cardinals, let me help. When I do the Cardinals rebuild, all right, fine. I'll send it to. Oh my god, that was bad. I'll send you a tweet and you can tweet me out whatever. I already know what I'm gonna do, but there's something too that I want to do. I forgot that I was gonna do in the original one. It's in the framework of how I want to do the Chip Kelly rebuilds. That's gonna be pretty funny. I think you guys will enjoy it. Seahawks used to have beast mode. Now they have feast mode. They certainly do. Oh my god, Wentz. The fuck? Watching NFL Network. NFL, it says Marshawn Lynch is playing down retire. Yes, I think Marshawn Lynch is coming back. As long as Seattle doesn't make it ugly by not, like, they want compensation or some shit like that, I think he's back. Hooker, Lattimore, or Conley. I don't know what team that's for, but if that's overall prospects, I'm going to say Hooker, Lattimore, and Conley in that order. Carson Wentz is sabotaging this effort here. Can you do a full ranking of all the players in the draft? Jesus Christ, I don't get that much time. And my defense is playing like shit. Like every time the Lions get the ball, they're able to put points on the board. It's just a bad effort, and it's not looking good, fellas. Then again, we're about the hour and a half mark, which is usually where we wrap up the draft or the live streams, but this is a bittersweet ending. See if we can make some match, baby. If we get a touchdown, maybe. We might be able to come back in this one. Oh, let's get it. Let's get it. What teams do you think will trade down the draft? 49ers. That's probably my San Francisco is probably my main bet for that to happen. Way too early Super Bowl predictions before the draft. I'm going to say Patriots, Packers. Oh, come on, Carson. What team would Watson be successful at? Oh my God! Why would you let me go for it on 4th down? All right, we're gonna fucking wrap this up here because after this drive, we're pretty much done. Jordan Howard is better than Zeke. Your thoughts? They're close, but I still have to say Zeke's probably the more talented rusher. He's better. He's more complete because you get the Zeke's a better run blocker. They're very close though. Jordan Howard's very good. I was kind of high on Jordan Howard last year, more so than other people, so it kind of makes me look a little bit smart. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in my final running back rankings last year, I had Jordan Howard as my sleeper. Do you think Patty Mahomes can succeed in Texans? No. Well, he could succeed, but he's not the kind of quarterback that Bill O'Brien wants. I don't think he's too. Bill O'Brien wants a not. I don't want to say conservative quarterback, but I don't necessarily think Bill O'Brien needs a gunslinger. A guy like Tom Brady, a Tom Brady build, like a pocket, under center quarterback is what Bill O'Brien wants. I don't really see there's one in this draft that's not Trubisky. Oh, there's a drop. Fuck. What was the best franchise I did? There's been a couple good ones. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm still partial to my Philadelphia Eagles connected franchise mode that I'm working on because that's where I did all my work. It's definitely the best quality video you're gonna find on my channel. Let's fucking get a touchdown on here and make it respectable. This is a body bag. I didn't even realize the score's that bad. Holy fuck. Who's the best draft player you've drafted before editing? I've got an 85 quarterback. That's the highest. I've seen. I don't think there's ever been. I think there's an 86. Someone tweeted me that they got an 86 player, but I think 85, 86 is what the highest. But I only got it once. I've only got it one time, and I think I made it. Who did I convert? Who did I make? I think it was Josh Rosen was who I created with that player. Pro comparison for Mitch Trubisky. I kind of see Jared Goff a little bit. I think Trubisky could be solid, but obviously not saying he's going to struggle if he goes to a place that starts like Jared Goff, but they kind of look very similar. Their tape from last year, Goff and Trubisky this year. Jump ball to Michael Thomas. Nope. Oh, fuck off, man. Where's the Toronto Huskies franchise? It will be back next week, I promise, as the Eagles Connected franchise will be. And hopefully tomorrow night we round up this, theme series of live streams tomorrow. If all things go well, I will be seeing you guys pretty much the same time for the 2017 Draft Class Connected franchise mode of all the rookies I have created in this year's game in my own C4 rosters. But thank you guys all for tuning in tonight as well, man. The chat has been super active the last couple live streams, so thank you all for making this what it can be. I appreciate it. Mock drafts still coming out every single day. And thank you guys for watching. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.